So let's talk about AI in our jobs. Is a robot coming for your desk? Or is it going to be your new superpower? It's kind of confusing, right? You see all these headlines, some screaming, "the end of work," and others promising a utopia. It's a total mess of hype and fear. Well, today we're going to cut right through all that noise.
And look, it's totally understandable to be skeptical. I mean, check out this comment from Reddit. It really hits on a fear that, let's be honest, a lot of us have. This feeling that when all is said and done, all the rewards from AI will go to the top, and not to the people actually, doing the work. It's a really powerful and, a very common fear.
So, how do we get past all the wild speculation and find out what's really going on? Simple. We look at the actual evidence, we listen to the experts.
And for that, we're diving deep into this. This is the big one, the landmark 2024 report from the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine. Seriously, this thing brings together the top minds in the field to lay out the evidence-based facts about AI's real impact. This is going to be our guide for today's explainer. All right, so we're going to tackle this by asking 6 key questions. First, what's real and what's just hype? Then, we'll try to crack this productivity puzzle. We'll also take a look back at history for some clues, figure out what skills we'll need for the future, and think about what really matters beyond just jobs and money. And finally, we'll get to the big one, the choice that's right in front of us. Okay, first up, hype versus reality. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and go straight for the biggest fear of them all. The idea that AI is about to trigger this massive, unprecedented wave of job losses.
I bet you've seen this number before. 47%. It came from this huge, super influential study back in 2017 that basically said nearly half of all jobs in the US were at high risk of being automated away, and soon. Man, that one number pretty much fueled the panic for years.
But here's the thing, that was years ago. We've kind of lived through that near future they were talking about. So what really happened? Let's check the receipts, shall we? Okay, get this. Take accountants. The prediction gave them a 97% chance of being automated into oblivion. But according to the report, what actually happened? The number of accountants grew by 19% over the next 7 years. So yeah, that whole job apocalypse thing, it just didn't happen.
Okay, but that brings up a really interesting question. If AI is so revolutionary, so game-changing, where's the massive economic boom? Why aren't we all seeing it in the numbers? This is what economists call the productivity puzzle.
Well, the report has a great explanation for this. It calls AI a general-purpose technology. Think of it like electricity or the steam engine or the internet. Its impact isn't like flipping a light switch. These things are so huge, so fundamental, that society basically has to rebuild itself around them.
And that's why there's a time lag. The real benefits don't come from just, buying some new software. You have to make these huge, complementary investments. That's the fancy term for it. We're talking about retraining the entire workforce, redesigning how businesses operate, and completely overhauling how we're all organized. But check this out. Where AI is being used correctly, the results are absolutely stunning. This chart from a study in the report is wild. They gave a generative AI tool to call center workers, and boom, productivity shot up by an average of 14%. And here's the coolest part. The biggest jump was for the newest, least skilled workers. It was like they got a superpower that let them catch up to the seasoned pros almost overnight.
This all leads perfectly into our next big question. What can history teach us? I know, it's so easy to think, but this time is different. But is it? What does the past really tell us about new tech and jobs?
Okay, this next number from the report, it's a big one. It might be one of the most important things to grasp. Get this. Over 60% of people working today are in jobs that didn't even exist in 1940. Let that sink in. Historically, technology has always been way better at creating brand new jobs than it has been at destroying old ones. Okay, but the report is also super clear on this. This time is a little different. And here's the crucial reason why. In the past, automation was all about muscle work, routine, physical stuff in factories. But AI is the first technology that's really coming from mind work, cognitive tasks, creative tasks. It's hitting knowledge workers in a way that nothing ever has before.
So, what does that mean for our skills? If the very nature of mind work is changing, what kind of expertise is actually going to matter in the AI era?
Well, according to the report, the biggest impact is going to be on, you guessed it, knowledge workers.
But notice the word they use, affected, not eliminated. That's a huge difference. We're talking about professions where the day-to-day grind is about to change in some really profound ways.
And this is the key. The word to remember here is augmentation. The model that's taking shape isn't about replacing people, it's about collaboration. Think of it like having an AI co-pilot, a tool that helps a programmer code way faster, or an AI assistant that helps a doctor sift through mountains of medical data. The whole point is to boost our own expertise, to amplify what we can do.
This actually brings us to an even bigger, more philosophical question. The report really pushes us to look beyond just the numbers, beyond jobs and money. Like, is a rising GDP the only thing that matters? Is that the only way we should measure success?
Because the report makes a powerful point. It warns that even if AI makes us super productive and the economy booms, all that economic growth could be hiding some serious problems in other parts of our lives. As they put it, and it's a great line, productivity is not the only measure of human well-being.
And that's why these experts are saying, hey, maybe we should be looking at better ways to measure progress. Things like the Human Development Index, which factors in our health and education, or even gross national happiness, which looks at things like our social connections and the health of our planet. Stuff that gives us a much more complete picture of how we're actually doing as a society.
And that brings us to the final, and honestly, the most important part of this whole conversation, the choice that we all have to make. Because maybe the biggest takeaway from this entire report is that the future isn't set in stone. It's not some destiny that technology is forcing on us. It's something that we are going to build, together, with the decisions we make starting right now.
And really, it all boils down to one fundamental choice. It's a fork in the road. Do we use AI for automation, where the main goal is to cut costs by replacing people? Or do we use it for augmentation, where the goal is to enhance our abilities and empower people? This isn't a hypothetical question. It's a choice that businesses and politicians and all of us are making every day.
So in the end, this report completely reframes the whole debate. It moves us from being passive victims, just waiting to see what happens, to being active participants. The real question isn't what is AI going to do to us? The real question is, what are we going to choose to do with AI? The future isn't written yet. The choice is ours. So now I gotta ask you, looking back at this whole wild ride, what was the one milestone that really shocked you the most? Was it that first leap to general intelligence, or maybe just the sheer speed of how fast business adopted it? Drop a comment below. I'd love to know what you think.
Thanks so much for watching. If this whole journey got you as fired up as it gets me, definitely smash that like button and subscribe. Because this story is far from over, and we are going to be right here to unpack it all together.